We're seeing euphoria here on Wall Street with the major equity averages hitting new record highs. Joining me today in front of the New York Stock Exchange is Peter Chun, and he is the founder and managing partner of Silverbear Capital. Peter, great to have you here today.
How are you, Remy?
Well, it's a great day to be talking about what's happening in the broader market. Now, all eyes have been on DC to see what we'll actually get from the new administration. But when it comes to the second largest economy in the world, earlier this week, the IMF raised its growth forecast for China. So where do you see this going in the near term in terms of growth?
Well, as a matter of fact, China has been outperforming probably for the last 20 years. And I'm not surprised, actually, IMF have labeled the 6.7 prediction for this year for China. But actually, as a matter of fact, for your references, China had only wanted to do probably around 6, so 6.7 is right above their expectations.
And Peter, 6.7 is a stark contrast to what we're expecting here in the U.S. We'll be getting those preliminary readings for Q2 GDP tomorrow. But there are concerns in China as well regarding debt and property prices. So what do you think about those risks?
Well, I think there is a settlement in the real estate market. So obviously, everybody is fighting extremely hard for the GDP's increase here. And a lot of government policy has been refining to allow that growth. I don't think the government will probably want to energize the real estate market too much, just to keep it kind of a little bit settled down so that there's no surprises, and work on probably the servicing industries where all the employment should go to. And then later on, probably once all the dust is settled, then I think it's good then to push the real estate market.
Well, Peter, I do want to move away from economics as well as the marketplace and talk about some fun trends we're seeing. Now, mobile payments as well as cryptocurrencies have been making headlines, but today Baidu announced its partnership with PayPal in terms of expanding Baidu Wallet overseas. Now, we know other companies such as Ant Financial, Tencent, they've been doing the same as well with other partnerships, but where do you see mobile payments going?
Well, I think everybody is trying to figure out the next generation of global payment systems. And obviously, there is all the old guys like Visa, MasterCard, and all that. But definitely everything is moving online. Now, however, the interesting thing to think about is China currency restrictions. So again, China has been protecting its currency and defending its currencies probably for the last year, as everybody probably can see. But the global payment gateway is actually allowing the China currency to be deployed outside China through retail systems. So this is a very interesting joint venture that they have formed. And we are actually waiting to see how government is going to control or limit or maybe manage these online e-payment systems gateways to allow global flow of RMB, so that RMB can be probably a global currency later on in the world, but yet to be able to defend itself when needed.
Okay, well, last but not least, before I let you go, I do want to ask you about politics. Now, China is going to be having the National Congress coming up later in the autumn, and all eyes will be on that. But it has been well over 100 days since Trump took office. So what's the temperament like regarding trade as well as politics?
Well, actually, let me start by saying everybody in China do not dislike anybody in the U.S. And I'm sure President Trump is doing everything he can to suffice his commitment in U.S., but at the same time trying to work with China instead to make a better venture between the two countries. The interesting thing is actually China is also looking to do that. Despite all the news around us saying that there is a conflict between U.S. or China, but actually I don't see the actual conflict being happen. So I think this is a good point to be aware of.
Well, I'm sure geopolitics and politics will continue to dominate headlines for both of these countries as well. So thank you so much for your insight, and thanks for weighing in on all these trends today.
Thank you very much, Remy.
Thank you.